The shir is dedicated to Zecha Nishmas Rachalea Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. In this shir we will be discussing different madregos in the Nevuah. And we'll begin by referring to the Rambam in Perek Zayin of Hilchos Yisodei HaTorah. The Rambam first in Halacha Aleph tells us that Nevuah is one of the fundamental cardinal principles of Yahadus. One of the Ikri Hadas, as the Rambam writes, Yisodei Hadas Leida Shokel Menabe Espenei Ha'adam, that the Rebbeinu Shalom communicates with human beings. The Rambam then goes on to list the criteria for Nevuah, which we have not yet discussed, but the Mitzvah Hashem, that we will discuss in the future. And the Rambam indicates that once a person has attained all these midos, then the Rambam indicates at that point he has prepared himself for becoming a Navi. And once he's gone through all the stages, miyad ruach hakodesh shora alav, ube'esh tanuach alav haruach tisariv nafsho b'malas hamalachim anikroid ishim v'yehofek li'ish acher. He becomes transformed and amorphosed into a different person. V'yavim b'daito she'enu kamo shehaya. He's not like what he was formerly. He's in a totally different sphere. It says about Shaul HaMelech that you will, in effect, become full of Nevuah. You'll be transformed. And now in Halacha Beis, the Rambam articulates the issue that we would like to talk about. It says the Rambam, Haneviyim Milos Milosein. Nevi'im are not identical. There are distinctions, gradations, different classes of Nevi'im. There are different levels of Nevi'im, different classes of Nevi'im, and we don't necessarily assume that all Nevi'im are in the same category. But the Rambam says that they do have something in common, and this of course is that which distinguishes them from Moshe Rabbeinu, who is in a class by himself. As a matter of fact, the Rambam, as we know, one of the Ikri Hadas of the Rambam, beside the Ikra that we just mentioned, that Hashem communicates with human beings through Nevuah, through prophecy, there's another Ikra that the Nevuah Moshe Rabbeinu is sweet, generous. His Nevuah is of a totally markedly different nature than that of Shar Nevi'im, and that Mitzvah Hashem will also discuss in the future. So the Rambam indicates, even though there are different gradations of Nevuah and Nevi'im, but all the other Nevi'im outside of Moshe Rabbeinu, they have certain common elements. As he writes in Halacha Beis of Perek Zayin, Yisodei HaTorah, V'kulan en roin mar Nevuah ela b'chalom b'chezin alayla. All of them see in a dream, or biyom, acha shedipol aleim tardema, after they fall into some sort of a sleep, k'mo shenemar, that's the parsha at the end of Ba'aloscha, where the Torah is contrasting Moshe Rabbeinu with Shar Nevi'im. That Shar Nevi'im, they see B'chalom, and as the pasuk says, Lo chen abdi Moshe b'chol beisi ne'emanu pe'al pe'al daber bo umar v'lo b'chidos usmunas Hashem yabid umadua lo yimesim l'daber bi'avdi b'Moshe. The Rambam just completes the halacha here by telling us v'kulang shemisnabim evareim mizdazim B'koach haguf koshel, their bodies become weak, and they are literally turned upside down. V'yeshtonoseim mistarfos, v'tishor hadeya penuya lahavi mashatira. However, there's a major gap between their guf and, shall we say, their moach, their das. Their das remains unsullied and has the ability to understand that which they see, but the guf itself is, as I indicated, physically discombobulated. The Rambam quotes Avram Avinu, and he quotes the pasuk vis-a-vis Daniel, Nepach alay lemashchis, v'lo atzarti koach. What we are interested is the beginning of the Rambam. But the Rambam says on Nevi'im, Milos saying there are different gradations and there are different madregos when it comes to Nevuah. The Rambam in Halacha Vav here then goes on to describe other aspects where Nevi'im differ from Moshe Rabbeinu. For example, the Rambam says in Halacha Vav, a Perek Zayin Yisod HaTorah, Kol HaNeviim Ayidei Malach. All Neviim, their Nevuah came about through a Malach. The Ramban, by the way, argues in this Rambam, and the Ramban contends that Riyas Malach is not called a Nevuah, and someone who sees a Malach or someone who speaks with a Malach is not considered to be a Navi. The Ramban discusses this in Bereshis and Perek Yud Ches, but here the Rambam continues and tells us, Kol HaNeviim Ayidei Malach. That which they see through a mashal, through parables. Of course, Moshe Rabbeinu is not so. And the Ram goes on to describe the distinction between Moshe Rabbeinu and other Nevi'im. But what is of concern to us right now is this idea, this notion that HaNevi'im Mailas saying. So I'm going to begin by